When your marketing and sales language talks about your product or service, I'd call that loser language. I'm Ed Marsh, here to talk about industrial sales and marketing. I know that probably sounds harsh, and maybe it is, but it's reality for two reasons. The first reason is that it makes you sound like all your competitors and every other vendor of any product or service, instead of differentiating your people and your company. The second reason, and the one that's really difficult to recover from, the language of your sales and marketing determines who your people are invited to talk with. And when you talk about technical features, that means by definition, you're normally talking to execution level influencers and not decision makers. For most complex B2B sales, that means you're not only not talking to decision makers, but you're positioning yourself in a way where there's no reason for them to talk to you. I mean, normally decision makers aren't interested in technical details, features, benefits, etc. They're interested in how well you understand their business and the outcomes that your product or service will deliver in their business. That's what your questions, your materials, your LinkedIn profile, your outreach all need to discuss. If you're not talking about those high-level topics, then as a decision maker triages their time and schedule, they're going to make a quick decision that is not worth their time. And bingo, you're done. You're not getting in the door with decision makers that way. But it gets worse, because you end up with the people who care about those granular details. Now, I'll tell you, that's not inherently a bad thing. You want to speak to end users and collect insights and anecdotes. You'll want to have them excited to help sell internally on your behalf. And often an executive may, participate in a meeting and make an introduction, potentially participate in some discussions. But if you start at that level, you won't reliably work your way up to decision makers. So your team talks to the highest level for whom the technical features are important to their job performance. And that means they don't talk to decision makers. And we know what happens then. Deals end up stuck in the pipeline and eventually end in no decision. Your reps spend their time with people who would love to learn from them. Maybe even they'd like to buy from them, but they don't have the authority to do so. Of course, maybe they issue POs. But if they're talking about any change that has the potential to disrupt operations or even create extra work for somebody, there's an approver or a disapprover somewhere. That's the decision maker. So here's the bottom line. You can train and coach and cajole your salespeople to reach decision makers, but your marketing and messaging may set them up for failure before they ever even have a conversation. Of course, some are scared and would prefer to talk to lower level contacts where they feel more comfortable. So the solution is twofold. First, to hire better candidates with a strong sales hiring process and a predictably accurate sales candidate assessment. Second, upgrade your company's understanding of how your solutions impact prospects' businesses, and then speak the language of those outcomes so that what you say resonates with decision makers. Skip the lower level language of technical details.